Dubai once packaged and sold to the world a perfect version of modern success. Luxurious, safe, tax-free, and on an ever-upward trajectory. It is the place that makes millions of people believe. Just stepping foot here, their lives will enter a different level. But today, that very city is sending out very strange signals. Hotels are offering discounts to fill their rooms. The airport is eerily silent, and the residents who once longed to come here are now quietly planning their departure. For them, Dubai is no longer a dream. It is becoming an expensive, suffocating, and unbearable mirage. But it's not just the tourism that is stalled. The bigger story lies in the fact that when an empire is built on trust and glory, even a small crack can shake the entire foundation. Why does that happen? Who is really paying the price? And is this a temporary shock? Or is it the moment the whole world starts seeing through Dubai's gilded facade? The answer will be revealed shortly. To understand why Dubai is becoming impossible, we must go back to the time when this city launched one of the greatest marketing campaigns in human history. Dubai was not built in the usual way. For over a decade, it has been designed as a global product. They packaged success, safety, and luxury into a product that could be purchased with a Visa and credit card. Dubai is advertised as a place where everything is optimized to create the feeling you are living in the future. A clean, safe, tax-free future with almost no limits. There, money is protected, assets appreciate, and life operates so smoothly that there is almost no friction. For many people, Dubai is not a place to live. It is a place to step into a better version of oneself. Think about the images, the symbols that have defined Dubai. Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, like a declaration that this city always wants to be at the top. Palm Jumeirah, an artificial island that, when viewed from above, resembles a powerful symbol drawn on the surface of the sea. To create it, they used enough sand to build a 2-meter-high wall around the entire Earth. A technical marvel, or rather, a statement that in Dubai, money can conquer even nature. Along with that are 5-star hotels, gigantic shopping malls, supercar showrooms, all creating an ecosystem where luxury is no longer an exception, but the standard. And for many years, it operated extremely effectively. Millions of tourists, investors, and expats flocked here each year. In its golden age, Dubai became a tax-free paradise, a magnet attracting all streams of money from the super-rich to middle-class workers seeking a life-changing opportunity. Coming to Dubai means arriving at a truly aspirational city, a place not just to live, but to prove that you have succeeded. It's like an exclusive membership card to the club of the elite. But what happens when you can no longer afford that luxury service? This system has no room for stagnation. Why does a model that seems so perfect start to shake violently? The answer lies in the facade we just mentioned. Because when you build an empire based on image, the scariest thing is not an economic crisis, but when the truth starts to reveal itself beneath the layers of gilding. So, where have the first cracks appeared? Look straight into the silent hotel lobbies and the gradually thinning runways. If you want to understand what is truly changing behind that layer of light, keep following along, because in the next part, we will start to see the first cracks of this dream. If viewed from above, Dubai still sparkles as before. But when stepping inside, the first signs of a slowdown have begun to emerge. Dubai International Airport, DXB, once the bustling heart of the global aviation network, is now experiencing eerie quiet in its business-class lounges. Meanwhile, in Palm Jumeirah or downtown, many 5-star hotels that used to require months of advance booking are now quietly offering record-breaking deep discount packages just to maintain room occupancy. The upscale lounges are no longer as crowded as before. The long corridors in the 5-star hotel, once bustling with a continuous flow of people, have now become unusually quiet. But this is not just a story about technical numbers declining. There is an underlying psychological shift taking place. International tourists, especially the new generation of travelers, are starting to feel the ick, a mild aversion to excessive ostentation. On travel forums, Dubai is being labeled as the tacky capital, the capital of cheap ostentation. People realize that behind the gilded walls lies a hollowness in identity. Did you know that in Dubai, There are gigantic skyscrapers built but not connected to the city's sewage system. Every day, a long line of trucks queues up just to remove waste from these luxurious buildings. An image of comparison that couldn't be more bitter. On one side, the pinnacle of technology. On the other, an unbelievable level of primitiveness. This truth leads to a crisis of trust. When the symbolic value wavers, tourists begin to ask themselves, what am I here for? Beside taking a check-in photo just like millions of others. Images of influencers trying to pose glamorously by silent swimming pools or shopping areas where employees just stare at each other are becoming a test of investors' patience. If you find these in-depth analyses of the urban brand's nature useful, don't forget to support the channel by subscribing so we can delve deeper into similar topics together. When beauty lies only in a gilded shell, a single gust of desert dust will reveal the emptiness of a lifestyle entirely based on polishing. But why do people not only stop coming, but those who live there also want to leave? The answer does not lie in superficial displays, but in something much more practical and brutal. The cost of living is turning life here into a problem with no solution. We will uncover the cost of living in Dubai in the next section to see why this paradise is gradually closing its doors to those who built it. As the neon lights atop the Burj Khalifa fade from view, the reality of Dubai reveals itself not through golden cocktails, but through the numbers on the bank screen. For the millions of foreigners living here, Dubai is transforming from a land of promise into a sophisticated financial trap. The concept of no income tax, which was once the biggest magnet, is now overshadowed by the skyrocketing increase in variable costs. In Dubai, you don't pay taxes directly to the government, but you pay taxes for every breath of existence, from visa renewal fees, mandatory health insurance, to the innovation fee embedded in every public service. Let's start with the most basic: housing. In recent years, rental prices in Dubai have increased at a pace that many people cannot adapt to. A one-bedroom apartment in the city center can consume a large portion of a working person's income. In some cases, rent can take up 60–80% of a person's monthly income. And that's just the rent not including electricity, water, air conditioning, and mandatory expenses in a desert city. The question is, if most of your income is just to keep a place to stay, what do you have left to live on? Do you know about the chilled water system in Dubai? In the 50°C summer heat, running the air conditioner is no longer a choice, but a matter of survival. Many residents were shocked to receive monthly cooling bills that could reach $500 to $800 for a small apartment, equivalent to rent in many other countries. For many people, that means you're not just paying for electricity, you're paying for the right to survive in the desert. But the pressure doesn't stop there. Food prices are rising, living costs are increasing, and tuition fees for children are among the highest in the region. A family with 2 children may have to spend an amount equivalent to an entire salary just to maintain their education. Meanwhile, the average wage increase does not keep up with inflation. This creates a very characteristic phenomenon. You can earn more, but feel poorer. There is a very intuitive way to understand this issue. There are 2 parallel Dubai. One, Dubai on Instagram, where there are skylines, supercars, and private beaches. And another Dubai, where life revolves around bills, rent, and end-of-month calculations. On the upper floors, everything still sparkles. But on the lower floors, many people are living in a state of maintenance, not development. An HR expert once remarked, Dubai used to be a place to accelerate wealth, but it is gradually becoming a place to consume income, and that is a very notable transformation. When a city no longer helps you move forward, but only keeps you maintaining, the motivation to stay will begin to wane. What makes Dubai hard to live in is not just because it is expensive, but because it is expensive in a way that exhausts people without them seeing any progress. If you find such analyses useful, please follow the channel because we have another layer to peel back. Because high living costs are not the biggest issue. The real issue is when a city becomes too expensive and starts to lose its sense of safety and desirability. Until now, the story could still be understood as an economic issue. Tourism slowing down, living costs rising, the market adjusting. But with Dubai, things don't operate that simply. Because Dubai is not just an economy, it is a living brand. And that brand is built on a very strong assumption. Everything here is always under control. For many years, Dubai has sold the world a very clear value proposition. Your money is safe, your life is stable, the environment is tightly controlled, and if you stay here long enough, you will move up. This is not a random feeling. It is the result of a meticulously designed system to create trust. And that very trust is Dubai's greatest asset, greater than real estate or tourism. But what happens when trust starts to waver? No need for a major collapse, just small changes in behavior. Investors delay decisions. Tourists compare a few more options. Expats start considering leaving. These signs are not loud, but in behavioral economics, they are extremely sensitive signals. There is a very noteworthy observation from the international community. Infrastructure can be rebuilt, but trust cannot. And for Dubai, this is particularly true. A city can reopen flight routes, lower room rates, or offer incentives to stimulate demand. But if people are no longer sure that this is a place worth betting their lives on, then all economic tools become less effective. Interestingly, this change does not only come from data, but from perception. In global discussions, Dubai is increasingly being described with terms like mirage, an illusion, or city with no soul, a city lacking identity. These phrases are not just emotional. They reflect a deeper shift, from admiration to suspicion, and when perception changes, market behavior will change accordingly. Dubai can repair buildings, reopen flight routes, and lower room rates. But the hardest thing to restore is the feeling. This place is still worth betting your life on. If you're following along, you'll realize the story is no longer just about Dubai slowing down. It is a test of how long a national brand can maintain trust when the surrounding environment changes. And if you're interested in such analyses, follow the channel because, in the next part, we will delve into an even more sensitive layer. When trust erodes, who can leave? And who is forced to stay? When darkness envelops the desert, the dazzling lights from Dubai's skyscrapers create an illusion of perfection. But if we look at the cracks in this system from a humanistic perspective, we will see a cold reality of social polarization. Dubai is like a luxury watch. The world only sees the sparkling diamond-studded face, but inadvertently forgets the gears wearing down from the desert heat inside. Those gears are the massive army of migrant workers, the ones who operate the dreams for others, but are not allowed to dream themselves. The difference between the social strata here becomes most evident when a crisis strikes. The ultra-rich and major investors always have a metaphorical rescue helicopter ready. They can leave within hours, transferring their capital to another paradise with just a click of a button. But at the bottom of the pyramid, hundreds of thousands of workers from South Asia and Southeast Asia are trapped behind the skyline walls. For them, living in Dubai has become not only impossible due to the cost, but also because they have no way out. Do you know about the concept of invisible cities right in the heart of Dubai? There are labor camps right next to the ultra-luxury urban areas, where the population density can reach 10 to 12 people in a cramped room. They are the ones who clean the empty swimming pools and guard the closed hotels. But their existence is completely erased from the city's glamorous media campaigns. When the hotels are empty and budgets are tight, this invisible group is the first to take the hit. In the region's specific kafala system, workers' residency rights are tightly bound to their employers. Losing a job is not just losing income, but losing the status of legal existence. This is the human cost behind a growth model that relies too much on cheap labor and brand polishing. We often criticize Dubai for its artificiality, but perhaps what is more thought-provoking is the fate of those who have sweated to build that artificiality. If you believe that a sustainable society needs to be built on fairness rather than just Guinness records, because when trust collapses, the rich lose money, but the poor lose their most basic means of survival. This rich-poor contrast is gradually changing the way the world perceives Dubai. People are starting to wonder, is a soulless and distinctly imbalanced city like this still attractive enough to represent the future of humanity? There is something very noteworthy. Dubai's crisis is not just happening in the numbers. It is happening in the way the world talks about Dubai. And if you take the time to read comments, travel forums, or feedback from those who have been here, you will see a very clear change, not in information, but in perception. The words that are appearing more and more are no longer luxury or opportunity. Instead, they are artificial, fake, theme park, shopping mall in the desert, or even a city with no soul. These are not random comments. In brand analysis, when a destination starts to be described with empty words, it is a sign that perceived value is declining faster than actual value. There is an interesting detail. Dubai has not deteriorated in terms of infrastructure. The hotels are still there. The buildings still sparkle. But the way people interpret those things has changed. In the past, luxury was interpreted as success. Now, for a segment of the audience, it is interpreted as ostentatious. The same image, but the meaning has reversed. This shows that the issue is not that Dubai has changed, but that the world's expectations have changed. Tourists, especially those with high spending power, are starting to seek more authentic experiences, real nature, real culture, real feelings of connection. Meanwhile, Dubai's model is built on designed perfection. Everything must be bigger, brighter, more expensive. When the world starts criticizing a city as beautiful but empty, it is no longer a matter of communication. That's a matter of identity. And this leads to a bigger question. If Dubai is no longer attractive enough to dream about and too expensive to live in, what will its future depend on? The journey to decode an impossible Dubai leads us to an obvious truth often overshadowed by neon lights. Everything here is built on sand, both literally and metaphorically. Physically, the skyscrapers are straining to withstand erosion and extreme temperatures. Symbolically, an economy that relies 100% on external trust and rapid capital flow is an extremely fragile foundation. Is this just a temporary slip or a sign that Dubai has reached its limits? History shows that Dubai is very good at redefining itself after each crisis. However, this time the problem is much more difficult. When hotels are empty and airports are deserted, it's not just a drop in revenue, but a fracture of an ideology. The world is wondering, can a city exist sustainably if it is operated merely as a business rather than a community? Did you know that to keep Dubai's artificial beaches from being washed away by the waves, the government has to continuously carry out massive sand pumping projects at a cost of millions of dollars each year? An unceasing effort to maintain an unnatural beauty. It's like how Dubai has to constantly spend money to maintain an illusion of prosperity in front of the world. Dubai may not disappear, but it is being forced to learn how to face a harsh reality. Money can buy attention, but it can never buy love and long-term attachment. A city needs a soul. It needs true residents who consider it home, not just customers coming and going based on profit margins. If these analyses make you ponder the true value of development, please leave a subscription. It's the best way for us to continue maintaining quality and independent content like this. Finally, the most important question is not for the policymakers in the UAE, but for you, those who are observing this dream from afar. If it were you, would you choose $1 million apartment amidst the glamorous yet fragile skyline of Dubai, or a simple life with soul and connection elsewhere? Please share your perspective in the comments section below. Will Dubai rise stronger, or will this illusion finally fade into the desert sands? Thank you for joining us, and see you in the next stories. Note that the content of this video is based on aggregated data, market reports, and independent analysis at the time of creation. The information provided is for reference and educational purposes only, and should not be considered as investment, financial advice, or official residency guidance. Any personal decisions based on this content are the responsibility of the viewer. Thank you for staying with us until the end of the video. See you in the next videos.